Hello guys and good evening. So I'm just trying to set up. I'm so sorry for coming late. Okay. Okay. Mama, mama, mama. So can you guys hear me? Let me know on the comment section if you can hear me. So I'm using my free hand. I'm not using a pattern for this. So you could use a pattern. Both of them is the same and the same process. So I just wanted to use a free hand for our tutorial today. So guys, welcome back. So the next thing, what I want to do now, let me just set my camera, okay, so that we can see, because the essence of this tutorial is the down part. I think I'll have to reduce the length, I think, so that my table will be able to capture everything, I think. Okay, so let's see. Now, and when you want to do this kind of tutorial, please make use of a soft fabric, a very soft fabric. So that is what will give it this, that is what will give it that fish design at the down. Okay. So you can see the way I'm trying to fold my fabric. So I'm making use of a lining fabric. So I'm just doing this for the sake of a tutorial. So you can see, so this is the down part of my pattern of that of my fabric. So now what I'm going to do now, I am going to mark a straight, a start line. So I'm just going to let me make use of the full length, because this tutorial you need the length to be excess. Okay, so this is going to be my start line. So this is my start line. So from this start line, we're going to call this start line my waistline. I hope you guys can hear me. It's going to be my waistline. Okay, so from this waistline, for beginners that don't know how to draft a skirt, it's a simple process. Cosma, good evening, thank you so much for joining. So from this start line, like I said, this is our start line. So from this start line, we're going to mark our hip line. So our hip line is usually 9 for people with normal height, and then tall people, you can make use of 10. So let's make use of 10 for today's tutorial. So this is 10 inches for our line, for our hip line. So from that top, you are going to measure, and then you are going to mark your knee line. So knee line is usually between 16, 17, 18, depends on how tall the person is. No, sorry, I said 16. No, it's starting from 17, 17, 18, 19. So it depends on how tall. So for today, our knee line for today, we're going to make use of 19. And then after 19, the next knee line, that's, if you have been following me when I'm doing my skirts, you know I normally come down. So I'll come down to like 21 inches. So if you notice this skirt, you see, good evening, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining. Favor, you're welcome. Osio Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so from, I hope you guys can see. I really want everything captured, not caption, captured. Yeah. So from my knee line, the next measurement, I want to come down from my knee line, because if you notice, that skirt is a fish skirt. So I'm going to come down. So for today, if you notice, the fishness, let me use that word, permit me, is at the down part of our skirt. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to first of all come down by 2 inches from my knee line. So this is 20 inches. So this is where I'm going to use like as the official knee. And then from this point, I'm going to come down to like my ankle. You understand? Because if you notice, you see that the skirt is a very long skirt. So for what we have here, we have about 42. So if you want to do this kind of skirt, the length that I would advise for you to use, you can use like 52. You understand? You can use like 52. So it depends on how long it is. So that is what will create that fullness. So the next thing I am going to do now, from this part, I'm just going to mark like 27 inches or 28 inches from this down part. Okay. So like I said, from your ankle, that is where you will start creating that curve from the client's ankle. Okay, so that is where you create that fish design from. Okay, so the next thing now, let's add all of our measurement to our skirt. So the first measurement we're going to add is our waist measurement. So for this, for our waist, let's use 32 inches for our waist measurement. So 32 divided by 4, we're going to have 8 inches. So you add 1 inch for your dart. If you are using a soft fabric, fine. If you are using a soft fabric, you can reduce your waist measurement by 1, and then you add your allowance for your stitching. And then I'll come to my hip measurement. So for the hip, I'm going to make use of 40, that's 40 divided by 4, we have 10, and then add 1 inch stitching and then 1 inch for that. Okay, so from that part, you are going to connect those two lines like this. Just connect them. It's a simple process. Okay, so when you connect them, so those of you that are just joining, you are welcome. You can hit on the like button. So from this part is a straight skirt. So from this part, you are going to come to your knee line. Okay, so for my knee line, I'm going to reduce. If you notice, the knee line is reduced. So I'm going to reduce my knee line. So I have what I have here on my hip line, I have 12. So my knee line, I'm going to reduce it to 10 inches. So from that part, I am going to create a curve like this. Okay, so can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? You see the shape? So from that part, I am going to mark it. I'll start marking it down now, like this. Can you see? You see the slimness? I'm following that same slimness. And then once I get to that ankle, so this is my ankle line, I am just going to open up my hands like this. So depends on how wide you want that skirt to be. Do you understand? So for this, I'm using about 16 or 17 inches. So like I said, if you are using so this is about, let's see, let's just be, okay, this is about 17 inches. So from that part, I'm just going to create a curve like this. Can you see the curve? Okay, so sorry. So can you see the curve? Can you see the shape? So you're starting that curve. This curve is starting from your ankle. Please note, from your ankle, that's from the client's ankle. You can come up a little bit. You can come up from the ankle. You can come up. Let me just measure mine and see. That's from my ankle. I could come up like 3 inches. Do you understand? You could come up by 3 inches, and then from that point, you are going to start curving it. So you curve it. So can you see the shape of the skirt? Can you see the down? You can see that it looks like the picture that I showed you on my thumbnail. And then how wide you want the down to be, totally depending on you. So like I said, if for a better and good result, use a very soft fabric. So for this, we're using 17. So I just want to open 17. Let's see. So you can see this is 34. You see how wide? For instance, if we want to use 20 inches, if we use 20 inches, so it's going to be like 40. Can you see? So when you wide, just imagine this width around the whole down. Your skirt is going to flow and it's going to cover properly. So guys, you can see this is how. So I'm going to cut this out now and let's see. So like I said, it is a simple process. Okay, so once you cut it, and then all the other part is going to be slim, and then you follow and then navigate your hip line, and then you go into the waistline. Okay, and then this is a skirt, so I'm just going to cut out the waist measurement like this, and then you are going to create your dart lines. So for your dart, you use your bust pan and then just mark it this way, and then you are going to just put a notch there. You know how to hold your dart. You know how to hold your dart. For those of you that don't know how to hold your dart, let me just show you guys. So from this point, you can come down. What's this one? You can come down like 4.5 inches. Okay, and then from that 4.5, you just take quarter of an inch, half of an inch, or half of an inch, and then just create your curve like this for your dart. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys our skirt so you can see. So you see how the skirt is. Can you see? This is where that curve comes from. So this down part, so like I said, for good and better result, you can use 20 inches for the width of your skirt. If you are making use of a pattern paper, you can just play around. That's check, cut your pattern paper and then check. So for that, you are going to add, you are going to join your pattern paper at the down part and then check. So once you like the result of what you have, you can go ahead and transfer that into your fabric. So can you see? So I can't my table is not long enough, so I'm just going to pass it through like this for you guys to see, so you can see how beautiful. So for the back piece, the only thing you are going to do, you just add a zip allowance for the back piece. You are going to cut it exactly like this. Just add 2 inches or 1.5 for your dart allowance. So it depends on how many inches you normally use for your dart allowance. Other than that, you can see how the down part of this skirt is. So like I said, all your measurements, your creating of the fish pattern is starting from your ankle, 3 inches above your ankle. So that's where you are going to curve and start it from. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to get that fullness and then use 20 inches for the down or above 20 inches. Depends. If you're using a very soft fabric, you can play around with as much measurement as you want. So with that, you're going to achieve this. So let me see, let's open this up and then you are going to see. So you see my table is not wide enough for us to see that curve, but every other part, so you see that this part like this is slim, it's going to be slim, and then your hip are inside, but the down part is going to be wide. So guys, so because I wanted to show up, so that is why I just decided to do a short tutorial like this. So guys, so thank you so much, all of you that tuned in this evening. So with this, you'll be able to make beautiful skirt for beginners. You can just buy fabric and just sew. Thank you so much. Those of you that are giving me love, that are giving me hearts, thank you. Those of you that like the video, thank you. God bless you. Appreciate you guys. So for with this, you can just buy a soft fabric. So let me get I'm trying to, okay, let me see. I have a skirt here that I made making use of such pattern. So this one was actually a straight one. So I'm trying to get the kind of fabric that you can use. So you can see this, you see. So when you make skirts like that, they are always very beautiful and easy. Do you understand? Thank you. Thank you. Hi, hello, you're welcome. G and let's see, G and G, you're welcome. So let me get another fabric. So when you make use of this, when you want to do all those kind of sketch, you make use of this kind of fabric that are very soft. So when you make use of them, you're going to get really good results with that. So the down is just going to flow effortlessly. Okay. So guys, thank you all of you that tuned in today. So like I said, our tutorial for today is really quick and fast. So for those of you on Monday, you guys should take a look at the channel. I'm starting a series next week Monday for our videos. I'm starting a series on what do you call it, transparent corsets. So guys, you guys should check and engage, watch, like, share. So on Monday I'll start posting the video. Start with our pattern drafting and then proceed to the so in different styles. So we're starting that one first. So thank you so much, all of you that tuned in. I'll see you guys in my next live stream. So I don't know yet if I'll be able to come up tomorrow. I don't know yet. So, but on Monday, by God's grace, I know I'll come up. If I can come up tomorrow for our live class, I would gladly do that. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye. Okay, so let me read. Ari a favor. Good evening. Osiobe, good evening. Hello, Cosma. Good evening. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Waila. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Okay, God bless you all.